Hello from Stumbles.
And Fumbles.
So today we're going to do a quick Q&A. Hopefully it's quick, we'll see. About some questions we commonly get asked in our videos regarding the cargo trailer. So figured we'd just kind of go over them all real quick, and then when we're done, we'll add a couple things, some shots of the camper to kind of clarify some of the things we're talking about. So I'll turn it over to Fumbles.
Okay, so what I did was compile a couple of questions that we got on our videos and wrote them down, and we're going to go over them to kind of contain them all into one video, and hopefully it makes it easier for you if you had any questions. So the first question we had was, what did we use to screw in the shelving to the interior walls?
So everything we did here, and I'll add a picture of them at the end, we used the self-drilling screws to secure the plywood to the frame, the trailer frame, also to the through the wood when we're securing the shelves, or the 2x4 or 2x3s directly into the framing. And then we also used wood glue between the plywood and the 2x3s.
And the next question, how tall is the interior of the trailer?
So I think we measured the inside of it, and it is 55 inches tall. That's up to the framing that arches over, and the exterior is approximately 6.5 feet from the ground to the top of the trailer. Fumbles is able to pretty much stand up almost inside of it.
And I'm 5'6", so that kind of gives you an idea. I have to bend my head a little bit, and watch those beams. Don't go standing up, it hurts. But kind of gives you an idea of how tall it is inside. And how do we keep our back door open? So what we did is we attached a piece of PVC to the bottom of the door, and we take a piece of rebar, put it into the PVC, hammer it in depending on the type of dirt that we're camping on, and it kind of latches itself into the dirt and keeps the door from swinging back or blowing open in the wind. And we'll show you how we did that in a little clip too in the future, or in this video. Okay, and the next question, why does our stove shelf seem so high?
So I showed this in a previous video, but when we put the counter in the back, it goes almost flush up to the door, to where when the door closes, it's flush against it. So if I would have put that shelf any lower, we wouldn't have been able to close the door. So we really didn't have any choice about going any lower. That's where it had to be. And then Fumbles can explain how sometimes it might appear higher than it is.
So when we did our first video, the cargo trailer was actually parked up on a cement slab. And when I was speaking and showing the back of the kitchen, I was standing down in the dirt. So there was quite a few inches of difference between myself and the height of the cargo trailer. So this stove shelf did appear a lot higher than it actually was. And we don't actually cook on it all the time. We cook on the countertop, we cook on camping tables that come in your campground site. So that's the nice thing, is we can move that stove around. It's portable, and we can use that shelf for whatever we want. Okay, next question. How much does the trailer weigh when fully loaded?
So empty, I don't remember exactly because it was a year ago, but pretty much empty, the trailer was in the 900-pound range. Now that we've added the plywood sides, the shelving, the counter, ice chest, today we had it fully loaded like we're going camping, with water, the awnings, absolutely everything, including the food, and we had it weighed. So fully loaded, it's 1,300 pounds. When Fumbles is towing it with her Santa Fe or with our Tacoma, you really don't even feel it, which was our ideal anyway. I mean, so that if I'm out doing hikes and she's trail angeling along, meet me in between, she'd be able to drive it and not have any problems driving it or moving it around. She towed it from the lower desert all the way up to Big Bear City without any issue with their Santa Fe, and then towed it down the mountain as well, and it wasn't pushing us or causing any problems. So I don't think there's been any issues with it. It's pretty light. We don't really even notice it's behind us.
Not at all.
But having said that, because it's light, when we go on a lot of dirt roads with it and you get on the washboard roads, you got to slow down, And when you think you're slow enough, you need to slow down even more because it's such a short, narrow little wheelbase that it will bounce around, and then everything you had organized, even in the boxes when you get there, have found their way out. So it's light and it's a short wheelbase and it will bounce. So on the dirt roads, you just got to slow down.
And that explains why we went with wire baskets too inside, like shelving with the wire type that are more of a basket shape, as opposed to some nice wooden ones that look great inside, but they're not functionable. So when we're traveling on bumpy roads, is functionable a word? Functional?
It is. If
Functional?
it's not, it is now.
Functional. So when we're traveling on bumpy roads, nothing pops out of it, so we can keep things in it, stays in there, and it works for us. Okay, next question. Why is it so hard to hear you on your original video?
And this is partially my fault.
Yeah.
She'll say it's all my fault,
Yeah,
but
well,
it is what it is.
and that's not really how the question was, but we got a lot of people saying we can't hear you, she needs a mic, she needs to speak up. So what happened is when we went to do this video, which was my first ever video, Stumbles told me that I didn't have to yell, basically, that I didn't, need to yell for the camera to pick my voice up. Well, I took that literally and thought he wanted me to speak lowly. So instead of, raising my voice a little bit so the mic would pick me up, I went down. So that's why you can't hear me. We learned our lesson, and now I know to speak a little louder. I don't have to yell, but I do speak a little
She
louder.
kind of used her calming meditation voice, and that was my fault.
That's
So.
right. All right, so next question. How long are the beds? So the beds, they fold out so they can be in a seating position or a sleeping position. And in the sleeping position, they fold out to about 72 inches. I'm 5'6". Obviously, I have plenty of room. You're 5'10", 5'11"?
Ish.
Yeah, and he sleeps great on it. And our son just took it this weekend, and he's close to 6 feet. He didn't complain about the bed size or anything. So I'd say if you're 6 feet, it's gonna be just perfect for you. And did we answer the question? No, we didn't answer about why we didn't insulate.
So, and I don't know that we really didn't. I mean, we didn't with actual insulation, but we used plywood around it. We put that, so then there's the gap between the exterior, which gives you an airspace, and then the plywood. I'm not a contractor. I don't know the R factor of the different types of plywood, but I feel as though it has created some insulation. We've camped down on the lower Colorado River on some very hot days, and it wasn't bad. If we needed to cool down a little bit at night while we were sleeping, we hooked the door so it stays ajar a little bit, and crack the window, and we get an airflow across us. And camping over in the Williams area of Arizona, up in the mountains, it's gotten down into the high 30s, low 40s at night, and we're in a sleeping bag and maybe throw another blanket over you. But I mean, there's been nights, maybe because it's such a closed, confined space, that even in those temperatures, I've been almost too warm.
Yeah.
And we use the fan in there to circulate it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know that insulating it would have helped. It really wouldn't have taken more than an afternoon to do. We just really didn't feel the need, and we didn't do it.
Yeah, there's really no reason. I get it if you're going to be planning on camping in an area where it's going to be extremely cold, and you want that extra layer of insulation. But that's not us. We don't go. I mean, not that we wouldn't, because there's times that he has a hunting season where it's really cold, and that. But that would be the only time that we would
always put in, like we had in our pop-up years ago, one of those little buddy heaters.
Yeah.
And they baked us out. So I mean, I would really bake us out of this little thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, trailer price. So the price of the trailer was, I believe it was on sale, it was $2,700, and with tax it was $3,300. Now, putting everything together, the lumber, the interior, the bedding, and everything else that we put into it, totals about $5,000. And I'm talking stove, every little extra thing you can
That's
think of.
everything from the beds, the awnings, the potty, the
Yeah.
shower, the shower shelter,
Yeah.
everything, chairs.
Definitely. So, and maybe there's some things that we bought after the fact that would put us over a little $5,000, but not much. And, we really believe in repurposing. So, like you'll see in our videos, that we'll use extra plywood that we have left over, extra PVC, anything that we have, we'll reuse so that we're not going out and buying, more supplies. So, we try to save money. We try to do it.
That was the whole purpose.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so and next, is the trailer steel or aluminum?
Of course, it's a steel frame and framing in the body. I believe the sides are steel. I'd have to go put a magnet on to be sure. I think the top is aluminum, and it's all one piece sheet up there. And the sides, I believe the body of it are steel. But kind of on this and going back to the other one, it's we got it from Interstate, which I think she's going to cover again here in a minute, so I won't go too deep on it. But they've done a really awesome job of taking care of us with making sure that, where I'm going with this, they suggested we don't cut into the roof at all and put any vents or anything up on top of it, the aluminum top, just because it's all one piece, and if you screw anything up to replace it, you've got to redo the entire roof. It's not individual sheets going across. It's one piece, which is great for not getting leaks or any of that stuff. But anyway, I think that kind of covers that question.
Yeah, well, but also leads us to another question. Somebody asked if we installed the window ourselves. And actually, no, we took it to Trailers Plus, and they had me pick out a window. Thank goodness they had one in stock that was perfect. And they went ahead and installed it for us. And that way we didn't void the warranty. They did the work, so it worked out perfect. We don't have any plans to cut into it anymore. I think he mentioned once that maybe another window on the other side would be nice, but we would take it to them to have that window put in. So, next question. Are we planning on putting solar in?
At this point, no, because we really wanted simplicity, and we're not out boondocking for weeks on end. And the Goal Zero Yeti does its job great for us. We charge our tablets on it, our phones, for making videos or whatever, and then also we can plug the fan into it, and we have some lights, some exterior lights that are like awning lights that we got as a gift, and that all works great for that. We've never run the Goal Zero down on a 3 or 4 day trip. So we also have the Goal Zero, I think it's Nomad, I forget the exact
Nomad
model.
5.
Nomad 5 that you can charge up your iPad with or your phone, and no issues. So right now, it would be a nice to have, but it's definitely not a need to have for us.
And I'm sorry if I keep looking this way, but our golden retriever keeps walking by, and I'm afraid he's going to catch the charging cord, so I keep checking to make sure that he doesn't knock the phone off. So, the next question.
You answer that, and I'll put him up.
Okay. The next question is, does the bungee cord on the back kitchen area hold everything in place? Actually, it does. But mostly it's all held in place by the back door being shut when we travel, because that back door actually comes right up against the kitchen area, so there's no room for anything to slide around. I put the bungee cords there as extra protection from things moving around, but yeah, works great. And one of the questions we just had recently was, do you think the 5x8 is too small, and should the person go to a bigger size trailer? Well, that's all personal preference. The 5x8 works perfect for us, even with the 2 dogs and us in it, but we're not in it all the time. That's the difference. We're not living out of the trailer. We're actually just sleeping in it. The rest of the time we spend outside.
It's really a sleeper box. We wanted it like a teardrop. We don't go out camping. I mean, we had the big pull behind RV with the kids and the bunk beds and the TVs and all that stuff. And we found ourselves finding reasons to be inside, watching cartoons with the kids, playing different video games, whatever. Had microwave in there. And we were missing the real reason we were out camping in a lot of ways. So by having it this size, it doesn't force us to be outside. We can be in it in inclement weather. We have the bench in there, the bunk bed. We can watch a movie, but it gets us more outside. We'd much rather be out around a campfire or sitting out there. She's always, oh, well, look at that bird that just flew by, and getting her
Photography.
life list and all that. So the size is great. It doesn't force us to be out, but it's what we enjoy.
Definitely. And if you have a bigger family that you want to put into it, then definitely go with a bigger one. It's like I said, it's just the two of us and the two dogs. So the size is perfect for us. And if I'm going to be towing it by myself and he's hiking, I don't want to be trying to maneuver it into some small camping spaces if it's larger. But since it's smaller, it's going to be easier for me. Okay, next question. What make and model is the trailer? I have no idea what the model number is, but the trailer's made by Interstate Trailers, and it's the 5x8. Like we said, we got it through Trailers Plus here in northern Arizona.
I guess the model would just be the 5x8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably, yeah, definitely. And I thought we had a few questions too about would the back door, would it be better with the double ones opening, or we liked the fact that it was one big door that opened, just kind of.
Just gave us more wall space and usable space.
Definitely.
Did we cover this?
Let's see. No.
One thing I'm going to show a little clip of. We love our Gas One propane and butane stove. It's awesome. One of our sons used the camper last weekend, and being a young son, rushed through something and he hooked the hose up, but he didn't put it through the right way. He was using the propane, and I don't think he closed it up, and he had a pan on there cooking his breakfast, and the hose, the propane hose, caught on fire. Now he was able to get it out pretty quick.
And with our fire extinguisher.
A little aerosol type fire extinguisher, and it didn't damage the stove or anything. We had to replace the hose, but I'll do a little thing after here showing what I think happened, and it's just a real easy oversight someone could have made, but it's a great stove. We love it. I wouldn't trade it for any other ones because we do love it.
Yeah,
it was just as long as you use it the right way.
Yeah. And I think the last thing I have to mention is when you're building your cargo trailer, don't be afraid to put finishing touches on it. It really makes it look homier. Women will understand how we like to add decor to the trailer. Don't be afraid. Like we put baseboarding, I guess that's trim, on the inside. We painted it, and as you know, we put that reclaimed wood, some pictures, and even that little metal trim on the kitchen area in the back. It just makes it all pull together.
It's kind of funny in a way because when you're out boondocking, for lack of better words, you're by yourself and it's ideal. But we have stayed in national park or Forest Service campgrounds where you're with other people, and I can't count how many people come up and they're like, hey, is that a cargo trailer conversion? Yeah, can we see it? And they want to see it. So for her, I know those little finishing touches made a big difference, especially when she's showing off the camper to other people. And we've had a lot of people say, yeah, I really want to do this. And the people who are really looking are those who are kind of starting out camping. Maybe they just have a Walmart dome tent like we started out with almost 30 years ago. And I think we said that once before. We went from a dome tent, the two of us had kids, went to a pop-up tent trailer. Then they wanted more than that. We went to the big pull-behind RV, towing it with our pickup. To the kids are out on their own now, and we've downsized to this. But I wouldn't. I mean, you can almost do a pros and cons of our cargo trailer, but right now, anyway, I don't really have
I can't think of any cons.
I mean, it's and maybe that's because we build it the way we wanted it. We added the things we wanted, and if we didn't need it, we didn't do it. Like we talked about solar. It's a nice to have, but it's not something we specifically need or are missing at this point anyway.
Or insulation, same thing. You know, we decided it wasn't what we needed, so we saved a lot of time and money not doing those things. So we do like to, we are proud to show it off. I mean, we did it ourselves, so we should be. We're not experts in it. We just drew up plans and went from there.
And this truly is a project that anybody can do.
Oh yeah.
Because I am not a handyman. And a lot of the ideas we got were from looking at other cargo conversions on YouTube.
Yeah.
asking the guys at Home Depot, hey, how do I make wood stick to a steel frame? What's the best thing? Oh, I'll get these self-tapping screws right here. Do this, do that. So it's a simple project. My son, myself, and Fumbles here, we pretty much did it all in a couple weekends. It was really simple.
It was.
Anyway.
All right, so I think that's all the questions that we have for now. If we forgot any questions or you have one that we didn't answer, just feel free to put it in the comments.
And like I said, we'll add a couple little clips here at the end showing the stove and how we secure the door again.
Yes.
All right.
So thanks for joining us, and don't forget to vote in the election. And from Fumbles
and Stumbles, see you on the trail, and God bless America.
So as you can see, we've added a piece of PVC pipe to the back of the door. And then we have our rebar, and then we usually just slip it down in through the PVC pipe. And depending on the type of dirt that we're camping in, we'll either hammer it in, or like with this dirt, it'll pretty much just stay. But if you have an extremely windy day, you'll probably want to pound it in to give it a little more stability so it doesn't blow when it's windy.
All right, so one thing I wanted to show you was we love this Gas One butane / propane stove. It's done an amazing job for us, and we've never had any issues. My son did use it last week when he was borrowing our cargo trailer, and the hose that he was using, which this is a replacement we ordered and just got in, caught on fire and burned up. I think what happened was on the back of this right here, there's a hole you can put this hose through to connect it, and when you do, that keeps it off the edge and keeps it from blowing up in the air. I don't think he did that. Well, in fact, I know he didn't do that. So I think what happened was he had it in here like this, and it probably had come up like that a little bit or something, and then with this on here, the heat was coming out the side through here, and somehow in that it caught on fire, and he used our little fire extinguisher to put it out and got it out quick. The only thing that was damaged, like I said, was the hose had melted and caught on fire. So it's just something to watch out for when you're using one of these stoves. Make sure you put it through the hole in the back and ensure you got it through there, and get this closed so that the heat's going to stay out away from your hose and keep that fire from happening.